This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
Yes. That has got to be one of my favorite ads of all time from 2024. And I can't think of a starker contrast than from what we're seeing coming from the ultra defeated Democrat Party. Now, if you don't know, Democrats gathered the other day at Georgetown University for the DNC chair forum. So this is the forum to determine the next chair for the DNC. And true to form, it was an absolute train wreck in every way imaginable. Of course, you had the usual climate change protester interruption.
Protest the Republicans! Protest the people who are actually hurting you!
I think it's important to say here, we respect people's opinions. And it is understandable that there is a lot of passion in this moment.
We respect other people's opinions. I think that's important for everyone to know. We respect other people. I mean, I don't even know what to say, but you know, that train wreck was really nothing compared to the ideological train wreck of wokeness that continues to infect the whole of the Democrat leadership. Check this out.
Round. So I'm going to, I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good. You all passed.
Racism has not gone away since 20 people of African descent came upon these shores at Jamestown, Virginia in 1619, and it's going to require us to think and behave in a new way. It is systemic, it is structural. When it comes to addressing diversity, equity, inclusion, access, and belonging, that is for all people of the United States. That must come across the voting line as well. This is everyone's America. Our story has a new form of glory that must come to our shores as well.
Oh, our story has a new form of glory. I hope she wins. I hope she wins. No. Can you imagine how much fun the next 2 years would be if that was the new DNC chair? Now, I really want you to think about this a bit. I'm serious. What you just saw there. Think about it. According to these people, according to every single person in that room, why did they lose the election? Why did they lose the election? Why did the Democrats lose? Who is to blame? You. You. You're to blame. Let that hit you. They lost the every person you saw their hands go up, every person in that room. The reason why they lost the election, let this hit you. The reason why they lost, as far as they're concerned, is because of the voters. At one level, that would be logical. That's right. People didn't vote for you. You lost because of the vote. No. No. This is a Democratic Party. We're not talking logic here. This is the party that doesn't know what a woman is. We're not talking logic here. The reason they lost is because of the voters. And that means that there is something debilitating in you. there is something within the average voter that is hindering. There is a moral impediment that is preventing you from realizing the moral righteousness of them. That's what you just saw in that room there. That is exactly what you just saw. Do you remember this from that borderline illiterate Sonny Hostin on The View?
Finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the
That's
on
why.
the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We
Misogyny
need to
and
take some
sexism.
lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock,
misogyny
knock.
and sexism.
Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
Hey, gang, are you getting the sense that globalists are gearing up for a pandemic scare after failing at the ballot box in November? Just weeks before President Trump's inauguration, California Governor Gavin Newsom declared a bird flu state of emergency, granting himself sweeping powers reminiscent of COVID-19 policies. Now, this comes after a severe case of H5N1 bird flu was reported in Louisiana. Critics like Nicholas Holscher warned that pandemic fears may be weaponized to challenge Trump's agenda, including the nomination of RFK Jr. to lead the HHS. Is this a health crisis? Or is it a power play? Well, last summer, Dr. Peter McCullough warned about the bird flu, linking the virus's rapid spread to gain-of-function research, now a common practice at many labs globally. Dr. McCullough urges early prevention just in case, recommending a contagion emergency kit from the wellness company. His medical board-approved solution with 5 critical life-saving medications like ivermectin, Tamiflu, a nebulizer, and hydroxychloroquine. Every household can now have access to these hard-to-get medications in the event of another pandemic. Get yours by filling out a digital intake form, and your kit arrives in 1 to 2 weeks. Don't wait until the deep state puts their plans into action. Stay ready for the unexpected. Click on that link below right now. Misogyny and sexism. Misogyny. And then, of course, Whoopi turns around and makes it all about her. But that's it. That's it. And when all is said and done, this is a narcissism that I think, frankly, I think it borders on, I think there's I think there's something mentally wrong with these people. There's clearly something more. Think about it. A population that sits at a southern border that's completely open and that's been ravaged by crime and lawlessness as a result of that open border votes for the guy who promises to close the border. You would not think that's hard. But in the world of Sonny Hostin, they voted for them because they're sexist and misogynist. I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be, I am, because I think this is important for us to get, especially for what few doomers and black pillars still exist out there. Moral cowards, in my view, Denethors. This is almost like it's not even a fair fight. Trump is a super heavyweight Tyson-like brawler, promising to defend and champion and stand up for the people against a corrupt political class, versus these little fawns, these Bambis who screech and cry and blame voters for every time their feelings get hurt. Seriously, think about the calculus here. You got Trump promising he'll fight for every one of us every waking moment of his life, versus the Democrats who believe that you should be defeated. They're actually running against you. Your bigotry, your racism, your misogyny. You are the ones who should be defeated. Now, how on earth do they expect to win with a political strategy that blames the voters for all the ills of our society? How on earth do they expect to win in an increasingly populist age where the people want to take power back from a corrupt political class? And then your party instead is dedicated to defending that corrupt political class as the only thing standing up against your bigotry and misogyny. I'm sorry, we couldn't have scripted a more easily defeatable opponent. You think November 5th was a landslide? If this is what they're doubling down on, forget it. We'll be in power for a generation. There's no way they're winning with that. Case in point, did you see this? Which, there. If you want proof that blaming the voter is a political disaster, take a look at what's happening in the state of Nevada. Registered Republicans now officially outnumber Democrats for the first time in 2 decades, since 2007. This is huge. Remember, Trump was the first Republican to win Nevada since Bush in 2004. The Obama era represented Democrat surge, a registration surge that swept the state and kept it off the table for Republicans in both federal and state elections for years. But then again, a few years back, we began to notice Nevada swinging back to the right. Back in 2020, Democrat voter registration led by nearly 5%, 4.65% in 2020. But just before the last election, in those 4 years, that lead collapsed to just over 1%. The Democrats led going into November by just around 30,000 votes or so, or 30,000 registrations. And in between, we saw movement electorally towards the Republicans, with the Republican Joe Lombardo winning the governorship in 2022. So the state's been gradually turning more and more red. Again, very similar to the pattern we were seeing in Ohio, very similar to the pattern we were seeing in Florida. And then basically the dam breaks. Just there's a critical mass, and all of a sudden the registrations overwhelm the Democrats. And that's exactly what's happened. The Republicans have officially out-registered the Democrats in Nevada for the first time in 2 decades. Now, independents still have a slight registration advantage over both parties, but independents are more right-leaning in Nevada. So it does look like we have now a new red state in our growing list. It'll be awesome if we can check off Nevada and remove it from the swing state list, like we are. Looks like we're about to be able to do with Pennsylvania. Many analysts are saying Pennsylvania is the new Ohio. Ohio was a swing state forever. It was going back and forth. It goes to Bush, then it goes to Obama, and all that. Red, blue for decades. And then all of a sudden, 2016, Trump, again, same thing, critical mass. He harnessed the power of the working class vote there, turned them all into Republicans, and boom, it's a solid red state that shows no signs of ever going blue again. Same with Iowa. Iowa voted for Dukakis, for heaven's sakes. Florida would be another example. But speaking of Iowa, by the way, maybe that's what Ann Seltzer was hoping for. Another Dukakis moment in her bogus poll showing Kamala up 3 in a state that Trump ended up winning by double digits. Talk about a fraud. The same dynamics appear to be happening in Pennsylvania. It's a highly working class state. James Carville describes as Philadelphia on one side, Pittsburgh on the other, with Alabama in between. And those Alabama forces are being politically organized like never before, thanks to the efforts of Pennsylvania Chase's Cliff Maloney, our good friend, and Early Vote Action Scott Pressler. It now looks like Pennsylvania is about to become the new Ohio. It promises to vote red, deeper and deeper red for the foreseeable future, at least when it comes to the White House. So if we can remove Nevada and Pennsylvania from the swing state map, if they become solid red, if New Jersey continues to go closer and closer to the Republicans, they were within 5 back in November. If we start seeing New Hampshire come our way, Maine come our way, Democrats have been permanently boxed out of executive power for the foreseeable future. There's just no way around that. And that said, why should we be surprised? based on what you just saw. Why should we be surprised? Who the hell are they talking? Who the hell is that room talking to? What do the Democrats expect to be the result if they decided to go to war against the American voter? I mean, again, all they have to do is just then in the next election, just play that commercial over and over again. How many of you blame sexism, misogyny, and racism for your defeat? All of us. You all suck. This is so key to understanding why the Democrats are unraveling right now politically. At the same time that Trump has embraced the people, the Democrats have gone to war against the people. Trump has embraced populism, the people versus the corrupt political class. All the while, the Democrats have embraced the corrupt political class as the only thing that stands in the way of the people's racism, sexism, misogyny. It is, as far as I can see, the single most disastrous political strategy imaginable. It is, in a term, political suicide. And there's no scenario that I can think of, at least. There's no scenario where this ends well for the Democrats.